Somebody sent Ralph $500 to make sure he's at Rekieta's hearing. First move he makes is he has to gloat because all of Ralph's donations are fake. At least make 90% of them. But somebody sent him $500. This is the last pay pick. $500 dues. Note saying, I do what I say I will do, like supporting you. Maybe you should go to Minnesota to cover Nick's hearing. If anyone could handle something like this, it's you. If not that, then do good coverage and tell Nell, the Kiwi Farms Nell, to go F himself. So Ralph had to share this with his audience. However, where is it? Unfortunately, people figured out that it was Killstream fan Michael Farrell pays convicted revenge photographer Ralph $500 to appear in Candy-Ojai County Courthouse as a friend and in support of Rekieta for his omnibus hearing on Wednesday. This is 2 days away. The hearing is only 2 days away. The Battle of Minnesota courtroom is happening. Because if you remember, Ralph kept saying he was going to go to Minnesota and go to Jim's driveway, Mr. Medica's driveway, and they were talking about the Battle of Jim's driveway. But now it's going to be the battle in the courthouse in Candy-Ojai. As Ralph has claimed, he's going to go there and he's going to dox all of the Kiwi farmers because apparently like 5, maybe 10 people. I don't think that many people will show up. I think like maybe 1 or 2 Kiwi farmers will show up.
Josh Moon, you're not going to show up in Minnesota because you're a coward. Guess who is going to show up in Minnesota? Me, without any donation or whatever. I was going regardless.
No, he's only going because of the donation because that allows him to pay for the flights.
Of, your phantom theories here. I was going to this hearing regardless. You, on the other hand, have hired an 82-year-old lawyer who is way past his prime and basically, Biden level, intellect. He's 82 years old.
I mean, I'm not sure what this has to do with anything. I guess it makes sense to Ralph, though. But I guess if Josh's lawyer is 80, it doesn't really matter, but okay. I mean, if he's still mentally sound, it's fine.
Actually, I looked him up. I know who he is. Rusty Harden, I know who he is. Because, well, I know who everybody is.
Is he drunk? Not yet.
I keep up with this sort of shit. And so I don't expect to see you at the hearing, but I will be at the hearing. And I will be outside the courthouse doing a live stream before the hearing.
This is happening Wednesday. Live stream outside the courthouse. It's happening. Ralph's going to be on the scene. Is he going to make it to Wednesday, though? That's the real question.
And then I'll turn in my phone like everybody else will have to before they go in. And then I'm going to come back out and document all these freaks that you've sent to try to ruin Nick Rekieta, the one guy who tried to save your career.
Law Rekieta. You turn on Law Rekieta. Here's my question is, how is he going to tell who are the Kiwi farmers? Like, I know this sounds ridiculous to, I guess, Ralph, but I'm going to guarantee you that everyone that shows up to the courthouse is going to look like a normal person. It's not going to be like the guy from, like, South Park, the fat computer guy, the World of Warcraft episode. It's not going to be like that. They're just going to look like normal people who
tried to save your site, and you have a grudge to break up his family, ruin his life.
This sounds like another old person just collapsed of heat stroke.
You are truly on the internet, honestly. You're involving kids, and you always have.
So Josh is the biggest scumbag on the internet. This is Ralph. A man that blew smoke in his own baby's face. A man that posted his own revenge porn to own the haters. And then went truffle hunting in his child bride. Oh, she's like 18 or something. So, but, just joking, saying it's a child bride. He was filming her from behind. He digs his thumb in like his little Jack Horner and he's pulling out plums and putting it in his mouth. But yeah, Josh is the real bad guy.
You've involved my children as well. You're a piece of shit.
Ralph can't even see his own children because he lives in Mexico after his 2 wives took the kids away from him.
You are a piece of shit. I will be in Minnesota.
All right. Is he going to be in Minnesota? Place your bets. 1 for yes and 2 for no. Posted this summary of here's how Ethan Ralph his weekend. 1. Doxes one of his last supporters to brag about a $500 donation. 2. Booked a flight while pilled out and misread the date on his connecting flight. 3, lands at his first destination, where he has currently been stuck since last night because he can't afford a motel at the Aeroporto Internacional Felipe Angelis, found the airport based on his background. He plans to fly somewhere tonight, or sometime tonight, into Tijuana and hopes he can find his passport in a lost and found at whatever house he got robbed in on his last trip. If he can't find his passport, he will use coyotes to smuggle himself across the US border like he did a few weeks ago to see his son for 1 hour behind plexiglass. And 6, if he can manage to hop the border before Wednesday, he can fly domestic with his expired driver's license from San Diego to Minnesota. All right, now we're going to jump back to Ethan's timeline. Let's see this one. So he says he's not drunk for these videos, by the way. This is the first one.
Moon wants to talk about revenge pornography, right?
It seems like maybe he's a little bit tired, a little bit sleepy. I mean, that could be anything, right? What do you think, Chad?
So Josh Moon wants to talk about revenge, right? Convicted revenge for. Actually, I pled no contest, and you know,
I wasn't convicted of revenge. My case was so bad, I just admitted no contest that I couldn't even stand to defend it. I'm not convicted. It's just no contest. Okay, good stuff.
It counts as a conviction, but
because it is.
I didn't plead guilty. And so
he didn't plead guilty. He just pled no contest, literally saying, this is just indefensible. So I'm just going to give up immediately. It's forfeiting, but he's not guilty, right? Okay.
He hosts the revenge, quote unquote,
that you posted.
Shoe on head.
Oh, no, wait, this is a different
Chris
one.
Chan, of myself.
See, here's the thing. If you're not actually in some sort of relationship, like not even like sexual, just like if you're like a friendship, like the revenge aspect of the revenge has to be there. So if Josh hosts these videos, that's not revenge because he's not seeking revenge against anyone. He's not affiliated with them in some sense. He's just watching and reposting the content, right? Once it's out there, it's out there. You can't delete shit from the internet. So it's actually not.
Etc. And he's afraid to step foot in the United States. Like he won't.
This is not true. So Josh is planning to move back to the United States sometime this year, I thought, or maybe early next year.
He won't show up. He won't show up because he's an absolute. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be there.
I like he's got a ciggy in his hand at the airport.
He won't be there. He won't be there.
I guess this is outside, right? This has got to be outside.
He's a coward. He's a coward who hides behind his wherever he lives. I don't know, China, Serbia. Who
they're gonna walk in with their t-shirts that says "Voluntary Reporter of the Kiwi Farms," like that weirdo. What was his name? Jason Close.
Knows where this lives. But
I think it's Serbia, right? I thought it was Serbia.
It's just incredible that this guy would talk about revenge as if it's some type of,
no
black mark on your record.
Oh my goodness, this is oh man, I usually don't follow Ralph too closely because I can only have enough time in my day to follow one train fire, right? Like whenever they go like wake me up when Ralph's drunk again. This is what I live. This is just so good. It's so good. It's like I posted some there's like some sort of black mark that like played non-kilter. So I gotta listen to that again. That was too funny. Female cop, gun drawn.
Black mark on your record. When he hosts these things, they're on his site.
Is that true? I actually don't know if that's true or not.
And if he was to ever just step foot in the United States, he would probably be arrested.
No, he wouldn't. There's no convictions out for him. This is just ridiculous. Ralph, on the other hand, is avoiding taxes and avoiding child support payments. So it's actually surprising to me that Ralph is going up to Minnesota and broadcasting his whereabouts. That seems like a risky move for him.
To be honest with you. Now, I don't have to worry about that. I go to the U.S. whenever I want. And so
What a king. What a king.
I'm not worried about it, brother. But you should
Tax-free.
be. It's gonna be even
Is
greater
this it? Chili Khalise?
when I'm in the Minnesota courtroom.
What is this?
And I'm the one giving the definitive response on Rekieta,
it's a dish. Okay.
not you.
Traditional Mexican breakfast.
Moon.
This is what's so funny to me, is that La Rekieta has been very friendly to Ralph as he's coming, as he got back from his court hearings and everything. And he actually went on Ralph's show. Was the first interview that he did. So you would think that Ralph is under the impression that him and Nick are good friends. And I would imagine that Ralph is going to meet Nick in the courtroom and say, hey, Nick, I'm here to support you. Can I come stay at your house for a few days? Which is an absolute disaster for Nick. Now, maybe Ralph gets to stay in the trap house with April. He did say that he would like to bang April. So I guess he could maybe do that. But like, you have to imagine what a nightmare for Nick. There's no way Ralph gets to stay in the Baldo mansion. Because, well, I think you know why. But what a disaster scenario. He's like, ooh, Ralph, I'd love to have you over, but I don't know about that.
I would think you were a lobotomy patient. That's what I would think.
What is he talking about?
And so the drugs and the alcohol haven't taken anything away from me, actually, except for maybe,
his entire life, the drugs and alcohol. I'm fine. What are you talking about?
A couple personal objects, I guess you could say. But I got over it, and I'm not on it.
I didn't note it. Like, holy shit! Look at all this fucking dandruff. Sorry, breakfast chads.
Any drugs and alcohol. I'm alcohol free.
He's alcohol free, baby. Tax free, alcohol free, rent free in the Kiwi Farms.
Drug free, and I'm ready to be in Minnesota, which I will be very soon.
He landed in Tijuana, and it was a vibe. My rival is imminent. Let's have a look at this. 14 seconds.
Sorted pedophile. Hello, Kiwi Farms, rejects, freaks, and other assorted. I'm on my way to Minnesota. Just a little short stop through here in Tijuana, Mexico.
And as of 6 hours ago, Ralph, assuming this is a real photo and he didn't just download it from the internet, Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport. The Ralph Mail made it to Minnesota. Now, can he make it to Wednesday? That's going to be... I'm going to be watching. Very closely. And he's going to be on the streets outside the courthouse, assuming he doesn't get drunk, assuming he doesn't get beat up, assuming he doesn't get pilled out, assuming he doesn't get coked out. I wonder if is he driving there himself? I don't know. But he's in Minnesota. I will take him at his word for this. But is he going to make it at the courthouse? That's what we have to wait and see. All righty.